Today I'm going to demonstrate how to use Ocean's Mail connected to our Sidekick and a Globalstar satellite telephone to receive Seaview charts using the email method. So the first thing to do is to start all our applications. I have Ocean's Mail running in the background, so I'm going to start with that one first. Because I've got Ocean's Mail running, I'm going to use that to launch my Thunderbird email client. So I select this icon right here. Thunderbird is how we're going to create and view emails that are received. And then finally, I need to start the Seaview software. Now that I have all three applications running, again, I'm going to demonstrate this. So I'm going to hold down the Alt button on my keyboard and then tap Tab to cycle through the folders I have. I've got a few other things running in the background, but the most important, I want to make sure I have Ocean's Mail, Seaview, and Thunderbird running in the background. So to begin the process, I'm going to go ahead and switch, again, holding Alt-Tab, and I'm going to go to Seaview. In Seaview, I'm going to go up here to the upper left-hand icon that says Download New Seaview Data. First thing I want to do is make sure that I'm in the email connection. So now that I'm in the email connection, I'm going to request a new email list. Now, if I've requested a list within the last 4 hours, I could choose to view the last list, and that would save me 2 steps. But in this particular instance, we're starting out fresh, so we're going to go ahead and request a new list. Now, disregard any of these check marks in the bottom. Oops, so I'm going to go ahead and correct this because my screen resolution is a little funny. So it doesn't matter what I've got checked here. The list contains everything that Seaview has to offer. So we're going to request a new list. And then I'm going to tell Seaview that I do want to be notified when a new file comes in. I'm actually going to manually be causing this to happen, but ultimately Seaview does automatically detect a new file that's saved in the email in folder. So we'll talk about that a little bit further, but it's important you press the yes button here. So once we've done that, we've now put a file in the Seaview email in folder. So now I'm going to tab over to Thunderbird, and I need to transport that file to Seaview so that they can create my request and then reply back to me. So we'll go up here and we'll choose write. And the first time you type this, you have to type the full email address. After that, it'll remember it. So it happens to be sv3order@oceani.com. Now that I've done that, I'm going to hit tab. I'm going to hit tab again to get to subject. This is a list request, so that's what I type here in the subject. And then I need to attach that folder. So that up here in the upper right-hand corner, I'm going to choose attach. And because I've already been here, it knows where to go. But you want to check the path and make sure that you're going to the email out folder of Seaview. I am. Now I can look at the date and time here to know that this is the right file. So here's the image request or the list request file. I'm going to select that. And then in the bottom here, I'm going to choose open. Because I'm only choosing a single file, the word open appears. Once I do that, you can see that it's been attached to the email. And then I'm going to queue the email. What this does, so I'm going to press the send button in Thunderbird, and this puts this into the queue for Ocean's Mail to transport. Now, if I had other emails to send, I could go ahead and compose those and reduce the number of connections it takes. But in this particular instance, we're going to focus on the email we have to send. So we've now composed a message, and now we need to transport it over our Globalstar phone. So again, I'm going to hit the Alt button and tap the tab to get to the Ocean's Mail folder. And I'm ready to go. So for you, you'd want to look at your Globalstar phone and make sure you have good service. You might take a quick look at your Sidekick and make sure you see 2 green lights and 1 red light on the power. And then obviously your computer does need to be connected to the Sidekick via Wi-Fi. Assuming all that's in place, we're ready to transport our message. We're going to press the go button. And then we're going to pay attention to the dialog here to make sure that we catch the files that we're looking for, or that this transaction happens properly. So if for some reason you have an interruption to connection, you may have to press that go button more than once to complete your message. In this particular instance, I'm hooked to a regular internet connection, and I can tell by the dialog that my message sent correctly. So the email has now been sent from me to Seaview. So Seaview has to receive this message, parse my request, and then it's going to reply back with another email. So since I've sent one, all I have to do is sit here and wait for 30 seconds or a minute until Seaview can reply with that message or that request. So we'll stand by for 30 seconds, maybe a minute. Now I can tell by the dialog what's going on. So if I go up here and press go, note when you press go on using your Globalstar phone, every time your Globalstar phone dials out, that does count as 1 minute of Globalstar service. So you do want to use this sparingly. Best case, wait 1 minute before you press the go button. Because I'm on a regular internet connection and a little impatient, I'm going to press it right now. From here, I can see the dialog. Now note that I did not receive a message, which means I'm still waiting. So I'm going to stand by for another 5 or 10 seconds, and then we'll press the go button again. What I'm expecting is to receive a message. We'll do this again. Oh, still waiting. Give it 10 seconds. I'll try again. Now this time it says I did receive my message, so I know I'm complete. So I've now received the message. So to recap, we requested a list. We sent that request to Seaview. Seaview has parsed that request, and they've now returned an email to us, which will contain the list we want to see. So from here, now we can switch over back to, we're just going to click outside the Oceans Mail window to get back to the Thunderbird client. Because Oceans Mail is the interim, it's our message is still in the queue of Oceans Mail. So to bring it back into Thunderbird, I need to request my messages. Notice I've received it by this bold indication. I'm going to go ahead and select that. And note that I have a couple of attachments here. I'm going to go ahead and close that notification. Now I need to save the attachments I've received in the email in folder of Seaview. So I'm going to choose Save All. I'm going to make sure that I'm in the Seaview email in folder. And because I'm saving multiple files, instead of open, I see the word select folder. That's okay. That's what I want. So I'm selecting the email in folder to save those files. Once I've done that, now Seaview is going to notify me when it realizes those files are there. So I'm going to go down here and just click the icon to open the Seaview folder. Seaview checks this file, this folder once every minute. So we could have to wait up to a minute before we receive the notification that the file has been received. There we go. So now we're going to say OK. And now we've received the list. And now I can use these check marks to filter this list to see what's important to me. So if I want to see pressure choices or plankton, I just simply check those marks. In this particular instance, we're just going to look for a simple Seaview surface chart. Let me go ahead and expand this. Again, the resolution of my screen makes this look a little funny. A couple of things to point out. The date column helps you find the latest and greatest charts. In the middle under type, you can tell the difference between single pass sea surface data, which is just SST, and GRIB models or other available models. So these models, you'll notice, have no cloud cover. The ones that do show a percentage of cloud cover. So the higher the number, the less of the image you're actually going to be able to see. So you're looking for a very low number, or you may want to grab a GRIB file. So in this particular case, I'm just going to go ahead and grab the latest 3-day composition in this particular one. So I can click anywhere to cause a check mark, but you do need the check mark in the box here to indicate what you're downloading. In this particular case, you can see this file is 40K. Now I can select several files if I'd like. As a matter of fact, I'll go ahead and just grab another one here just for the sake of indication. So we're going to get 2, and so that would be the total of these 2 files. So I've got a 40K file and a 31K file. So I'm downloading about 70K. With a Globalstar phone, I would limit your downloads to a total of 200 or less kilobytes. Once I've selected the files I want, I'm going to choose Request Selected Images via email. And then I'm going to say, yes, I do want to be notified when these files arrive. Again, I'm going to put the file in the email in folder, but I need this notification to pop up. Now that we've done this, we're going to switch back by holding down the Alt button and hitting Tab until we get to Thunderbird. And we're going to email this request. So we need to write a second email. Again, we'll type SV until the SV3 order at oceaneye.com appears, then tab to get subject. This is an image request, so that's what we're going to put in the subject line. And then I need to attach that file that was just created. So we'll go back up here to the attach button. And we're already in the email out folder. I can tell by the time and the title of this image request that this is what I want. And I'm going to open that file to attach it to this email. So now you can see the total. This email is ready to go. And we're going to queue the message. So we'll press send. Once I've done that, it's time to switch back to Oceans Mail. Again, we're going to hold down the Alt button and hit Tab. And go to the Oceans Mail client to transport this message. At this point, we need to take a quick look at our Globalstar phone and make sure that we have service before we press the Go button. Now we're going to press Go and watch the dialog to make sure that our message was successful. Notice the message was successful. Again, we have to give Ocean Imaging some time to parse this request. I recommend you wait about a minute before you press the go button again, and then pay attention to the dialog to indicate that you've received a message. So in this particular case, again, you can look at the dialog and see that the message that I sent was sent successfully. We're going to look for the same thing on the incoming message. So we're stay here on the Ocean's Mail client, waiting for Seaview to parse and send us an email. Because I'm impatient, I'm going to go ahead and press the go button and pay attention to the dialog. There we go. So the dialog indicates that my message was received. So we're done here. We're going to click outside. We're going to go back to the Thunderbird client to transport. So we're going to bring the message from the Ocean's Mail queue into the Thunderbird by pressing Get Messages. Notice my new message. Now I need to put the files that I received into the Seaview email out folder or email in folder. And I had a couple of files, so you can notice the attachments. But to keep it simple, we're just going to choose Save All. Make sure it's going into the email in folder. And because it's multiple files, note I have select folder instead of open. That's okay. We're going to select this folder and save that file. Now those files have been put back into the email in folder. I'm going to go back to Seaview and wait for Seaview to notify me that it's received those files. Again, this can take up to a minute. There we go. Now that I've received the notice, we're going to say yes. It's going to, we checked 2 charts and it's notifying us that 2 new files have been received. Even though there were 3 folders, note that one of those folders one of those files is just data. That's okay. This is what we're expecting. So we'll hit OK. And now we'll have those the files that we've noticed. Now notice that Seaview stacks those on top of each other. So I'm dragging these out of the way. This seems to be the most interesting. So again, this is what 16% cloud cover looks like on an image. So all the gray represents cloud cover that was not, they weren't able to resolve the pixels for that location. This concludes my instructions on how to use Ocean's Mail with a sidekick connected to a Globalstar phone to receive Seaview charts using the email method.